Hello, we meet again. Hopefully, everything is okay so far. I know it's a bit weird that we're doing everything online now. We don't get to see face to face. And one other thing that I think will be disturbing to you is the online learning experience, right? We come from all over Malaysia. Some of you may not be well connected as well, right? Ada yang terpaksa panjat pokok mungkin, ada yang naik bumbung mungkin untuk mendapatkan capaian internet dan sebagainya. And this slot I'll be sharing more on how you can cope with the university studies life. So in this slot I'll be sharing more on this online learning experience because we realize that you may not be comfortable with things that we're going to do in UNIMAS, for example. I know maybe you're exposed to certain things that UNIMAS is doing, but in this video, I'll be sharing things that I think is good for you. The first thing that I think when it comes to online learning is you have to know the expectation from your lecturers, right? Get yourself familiarized with the software that or apps that your lecturers might be using. I can name you a few. Like for example, if you're talking about live classes, chances are they'll be using Microsoft Teams, Zoom, right, and WebEx. This top three. Some may be using Skype, but these are the names that you might want to be familiar with. Kalau kau tak pernah dengar, tak pernah guna, this is the period where you can try it out. So, but of course, if you are incapable of installing all this, kalau tak mampu nak install, get your lecturers notified, kena bagi tahu lecturer awal. Jangan tunggu sampai bila nak kelas baru nak alert to your lecturers. So, inform your lecturers earlier if you have problems with all these apps, right? All these tools that they are planning to use. Chances are you might have a limitation in terms of laptop or your mobile phone or your smartphone and all that. So tell them earlier, but do not make that as an excuse for not following any classes. What you can do is request your lecturers to provide alternatives. Right, if you cannot join online classes, kalau tak boleh join online classes tu, cubalah minta macam slides or even recorded video first, right? And try to learn from all these sources. It's not enough by saying, oh, saya tak dapat online and then that's it. Then what's the point of joining university? Then you might as well stay at home and do whatever you want at home. What's the point of paying the fee or taking the hassle to join this foundation studies anyway? Remember that, all right? Number two is to set yourself, I call it study time. I know it at home because your environment will be different and you are kind of like studying independent at the moment because there's no classes yet. Once you are back to campus where you do face-to-face classes, then it will be okay. But now, somehow self-discipline is key. So try to make sure you set your time. If you know that at home you are going to help your parents, you're going to take care of your siblings and all that, set aside time and then make sure all your families are aware of this. Have that kind of conversation that your family members know that you're going to studying at this period and all that, so they know that they won't be disturbing you unless there's an emergency and whatnot lah. Maksud dia, kalau boleh set a time where semua faham yang anda perlu belajar online seumpamanya. Sama juga macam biasa bila kita study for SPM umpamanya, kita set the time and then they know that this is the time that you have to focus on. I know most students will go for midnight because that's the silent time. Yeah, but don't forget about your sleep. So if you want to do that, then you might want to adjust your time a bit until we get to meet. Until classes are back to normal, then you'll be okay. So follow the schedule accordingly. When there are live classes, go for live classes. Kalau tak, try to adjust sikit lah in terms of the time that you set for your own study time. That's quite crucial. Number three, get yourself familiarized with how to search for information online, right? You'll be using, for example, Google Scholar. Okay, how to maximize your search because you're not going to refer to normal websites or books anymore. You might want to refer to journal articles, right? Articles with written by researchers and all that. You have to get yourself in that mode already. Find out things deeper. Not enough by just reading normal news website or all this magazine that you normally do. So when you do, your assignment and all that, get yourself reliable sources. These are the things that you have to learn further. I have a video on this. You can just click on the link up here on how to maximize your use of Google Scholar, so that you can search better, right? But what is more important is to know that you need to use all these reliable sources, the information literacy tu. Macam mana kita nak tahu yang ni boleh dipercaya ke tak, and all that. So in universities, we really we are really serious about this. So number 4, get yourself engaged in all the activities conducted in the UNIMAS e-learning website or e-learning portal, right? We call it eLib. In your courses later, you will have your pages on eLib, and try to engage in all the activities that the lecturers have put up. So this is the place where you get additional help or assistance in your studies. So don't pretend that it's not there. You need to visit it regularly. So if you're not familiar with how it works, then you might want to visit this website regularly and check out what are the things available. Try to explore a bit all these tools. Okay. And if you really need help, then feel free to ask for help, because sometimes you may not be able to log in, for example. Then you just email to the eLib. You can email to the technical team in eLib so they can help you out. But as a student, visiting eLib is crucial in understanding what you need to do in the courses. Your assignments will be submitted through that platform. Your lectures will be doing a lot of activities there. Be active, be participative, because you're here to engage in a meaningful journey of improving yourself through your studies, right? You're not here just to waste your time, right? So if your lecturers are putting effort to put on stuff on the platform, then make use of that platform and engage them. Get to know, dig out more from them, get to learn more things. If I were you, I would be like hunting down all these lectures to learn more. It's not like I give you A and then you just study A, that's it. After all, you want to be, if you want to be a doctor, then be an excellent doctor. It's not enough by just being a doctor who reads and pass exam. Correct? If you want to be an engineer, be really reliable engineer, and this is the time for you to set that path. Tip number 5 is also to get yourself familiar with the basic apps like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint. There are many tools out there that can help you to do other things. You can even use Google Docs and how to use all this. But of course, I'm not going to go through step by step on how to use this, but I'm telling you, if you need help in how to use Microsoft Word, Google Docs and all that, please explore it now. This is the time. So make use of this early period to get use of this tool like Google Docs, how to do better slides and using PowerPoint and all that. I know, because you come from different background and different level of ICT, so you cannot just say, no, I'm not good in ICT, I don't know how to do this, blah blah blah. Well, if you don't do this now, you can't wait until you enter degree life and all that. Remember, if you're thinking about your career, people with all these skills will be hunted faster than you. So don't blame people for not hiring you later, right? If you don't know all this. So make this an opportunity for you to grab your chance to learn all these tools as well. Okay. Also, online learning can also cause a lot of disturbance, I know. Number 6 is to always communicate with your friends and also your lecturers. You can't really assume that because we are not meeting face to face, so we don't have to communicate. In fact, without having face to face, communication becomes even more crucial, because you need to be in constant contact with your lecturers and also your peers. Your lecturer, chances are, maybe setting up like WhatsApp group or maybe Telegram group and whatnot. You can be an observer, but be in the know, right, of all the latest announcement and all that. So, and if you need help, communicate with your lecturers as soon as possible. Don't just pretend nothing happened. Tak bagus, right? Kalau ada apa-apa, terus berhubung dengan lecturer, terus berhubung dengan pensyarah ataupun kawan-kawannya yang kita tak boleh anggap nothing's happening. Communication is key in online learning as well. So make use of that chance to get to know people and then help out each other. Tip number 7 is about virtual collaboration, right? Kerjasama dalam talian ni. Because you can't meet face to face, you need to collaborate or work with your friends virtually. And you can use all kind of medium. You can use WhatsApp or whatever to form group to discuss with your friends and all that. But when you're doing this, try to commit yourself to a certain time. Again, Kalau boleh work together using different tools, you can use Google Doc to monitor your collaborative work. For example, in Google Doc, as you can see here, you can just you can add your friends, all right, and work on the document together, all right, and then try to log into the same link and work on the document together. So these are the type of virtual collaboration that you'll be doing, or even discussion through WhatsApp group. So you need to be in that virtual collaboration because there's certain project that you have to do online, and you cannot just assume that it's not happening. If you have problem connecting to the internet and all that, please inform your lecturers earlier. Don't wait until everything is over, then you tell all this kind of problem. Try to engage them earlier. Same like in face-to-face learning as well. When it comes to online learning, you also have to be active, because if you are not active, then your lecturers will not be able to identify your weaknesses or your strengths. Let's say your lecturer posts up something on eLearning and you didn't participate, then they wouldn't be able to know your strength, your ability. So be active, right? No harm, and don't be scared of making mistakes. After all, it's about the learning process anyway. So you don't have to feel scared or feel like ashamed to do mistakes. Those are normal. It's part of the learning process. If you can accept that fact that all these mistakes are just part of learning process, then you will progress better in life. You don't have to be too worried about what people think about you and all that. So be active. I really hope you can be active in the online learning platform as well, especially during this period when you don't get to meet face to face, right? Because by participating in all these virtual activities, your lecturers will be able to identify what are the things that they can do to help you further. And even, it also helps the lecturers to plan, to design better activities to help as well. Okay?